The trade rumor mill has started to churn out more and more conversations. Ah, yes, finally, man. We're getting into it. More trade talk, more names being tossed out there on the trade block, and a bunch of questions as to whether or not certain guys could be moved. So let's dive into one of the best West Coast stories that's available to us right now in regards to the LA Kings, the Edmonton Oilers, and I'm going to go out there and toss the Vancouver Canucks in. Now, each of these three teams, they are playing games later today. You could get me started on the Vancouver Canucks and their lines heading into tonight's game against Dallas, or I should say today's game against Dallas. But that game's going to be on in just a few hours over here. Edmonton is also playing off against the Islanders in a short while here too, so we're probably going to have to get this video out there quickly, aren't we? Today, we are revisiting the conversation with the LA Kings and a player that has been very, very good the past few years. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the latest with Adrian Kempe, courtesy of David Pagnotta on the fourth period. Now, if you had been paying attention to what we've been talking about the past few weeks here, Kempe is in a pretty tough spot because he's a 29-year-old forward. His contract expires at the end of this season, making $5.5 million a year, and he's been a lot better than a $5.5 million per year player with the LA Kings. He's on pace for 100 points this year. He's got 5 in 4 games. The past few years, he has had 70 points, and he has himself a 40-goal season with 67 points. He's been a very, very versatile, speedy, high-scoring winger for the Kings. And the past few videos talking about this guy, we've discussed the idea of the Vancouver Canucks potentially going out there and trading for this guy. He's close friends with Elias Pettersson. So if bringing in a friend to potentially be on his wing is what he needs to get going, then maybe that would be a really smart move for Patrick Allvin to try and reinvigorate his $11.6 million center. Now, wouldn't it? We also had Jeff Merrick speaking about the idea of Kempe becoming available in Vancouver, potentially being a destination there, either via a trade or free agency, one of the two. But now we're going over onto an article posted on NHLTradeRumors.me. I know, it's kind of a weird source, but the reason we're looking at this piece is because Dave Littman goes out there and transcribes some comments made by David Pagnotta on the Oilers Nation Everyday podcast. He went out there and gave an update on the LA Kings and Kempe's contract negotiation situation, saying that the $9 or $10 million AAV numbers that the two sides were haggling over this summer have gone up, thanks largely to Kirill Kaprizov. Now, the LA Kings better be prepared to budget for a cap hit north of $11 million, or rival teams will be ready to pounce. Now, before we go into the actual quote, yeah, that's quite the number there, isn't it? Guy was thinking about $9 or $10 million, but then all of a sudden Kaprizov signs for 17. Kyle Connor signs for 12. Rantanen signed for 12 earlier in the summer, but that's not really all too surprising. It's like, okay, yeah, he's right there in that sub-Nathan McKinnon territory that he actually would have been okay with in Colorado, but instead he gets it in Dallas. But now, Connor, Kaprizov, these guys are getting deals, and Adrian Kempe's on the outside looking in saying, hey, maybe I could get some of that dough too. The cap's going up, isn't it? Here's a quote from David Pagnotta. I don't know if LA has made up any significant ground in terms of bridging the financial gap with the Adrian Kempe party. And that's one of the reasons they put a pause in the negotiations for the time being. With the changing of the landscape, they've got to figure out from the LA side of things and understand that it's going to cost you a lot to keep the guy. There are teams like Edmonton and others that are quasi-lurking in the weeds, just curious as to where this is going to go. There are going to be a number of potential suitors that are going to go after this guy. The Kings and Kenny Holland have to accept the fact that his contract is likely going to be in the 11s. So there you go, eh? David Pagnotta linking the Edmonton Oilers to Adrian Kempe as a potential destination, although the way he speaks about it, it seems like he's talking about this in the context of a free agent signing, not necessarily a trade. Although, if you wanted to be in that conversation early, you wanted to get involved and maybe get this guy on as a rental, I wouldn't dismiss that idea as a possibility for any of these playoff teams as well. A team that's bona fide, near the top, they've proven themselves time in and time out, and they want to get over that final Game 6, Game 7 hump in the Stanley Cup Finals like Edmonton. They might not even be willing to wait to get a guy like Kempe in the offseason in free agency. They might be interested in making a trade and getting him right now. Now, I don't know how likely that is. We did see some talk saying, okay, if the LA Kings just absolutely cannot agree with Kempe in terms of how much money he's going to make, if they really think that he's asking for too much based off of the other contracts that were signed with Connor and Rantanen and everybody else, if they think that he's pricing himself out, then maybe the LA Kings explore a trade. And maybe, if the Edmonton Oilers are desperate, they can be the team that gets him. Obviously, these two teams have no love for each other. They play each other in the playoffs every year, and Edmonton wins every time. But I do kind of wonder, the Kings have had a pretty rough start to kick off this 25-26 campaign. If they're not able to put it together, is there a possibility that they swallow their pride and bite the bullet and say, okay, well, we can't sign this guy. Best offer is coming from Edmonton. Let's just send him over there. Try to give him a chance to win a couple, retain 50% of his $5-something million a year, and he'll go and be such a cheap cap pickup for the Oilers in their cup run in 2026. Who knows if that's a possibility? Never mind the fact that Vancouver is still probably in there. They're obviously not the contender that Edmonton is right now, but Vancouver's trying to get there, and this owner is not going to let them stop without making more playoff revenue, so if an Adrian Kempe is deemed to be the solution to Elias Pettersson's scoring woes, and he's an available asset, then, hey, I hope Vancouver's going to go out there and quasi-lurk in the weeds too. It's almost interesting imagery here, thinking about NHL GMs lurking around in the tall grass like it's a Stephen King novel, trying to go out there and strike when the iron's hot and sneak up on this guy while he's in the weeds looking for his family or something like that. I don't know, there was a movie I saw like that. In the Tall Grass? That's what it was. Hey, it's October. Spooky season, right, folks? So with all this in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this update from David Pagnotta? It's either the LA Kings accept that Kempe is going to get 11 plus, or they let him go. But of course, they would probably want to not do that. We have seen some LA Kings fans on various parts of the internet debating whether or not Kempe should stick around or not, based on the demands of his contract. I know there are at least some that are thinking, yeah, trade this guy, he wants too much, etc., etc., but there are others that are like, yeah, no, what are you talking about? This guy's definitely worth that money. I mean, is he Kyle Connor? No, not necessarily. He's not producing 90-point seasons year in, year out. He's in the 70-point range, but he can still probably get 11 plus. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comments whether or not that's actually appropriate, and if it's not appropriate in the minds of the LA Kings, do you think Vancouver or Edmonton could really get involved here? We already saw Vancouver and Edmonton getting involved in the Alex Tuch conversations. Adrian Kempe, looks like you're next. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, then hey, the dislike button is down there for you as well. Comments help out with the algorithm, so I'd appreciate your contributions there. Let me know in the comment section all your opinions about this topic. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.